So there's a little bit of drama going on in the Fortnite community. This is over the next Fortnite OG season, Season 9, which will actually be launching on June 25th. So that's in 3 days. As I'm recording this video, it's actually 12:09 a.m. at nighttime. I am a total loser, but I am kind of hyped for Season 9, although many people would say that Season 9, it wasn't one of the best Chapter 1 seasons. Me personally, I can't really say that because I am a Fortnite late bloomer. I started playing in Chapter 1 at Season 7. And for me, Season 9 kind of has like a special place in my heart. Horde Rush got introduced that season, and I'm a big fan of Horde Rush. I honestly loved Mega City. I loved Neo Tilted. I thought those were amazing POIs. Some of the weapons in that season, like the Burst SMG, were just completely trash. But most of the guns I'm thinking of, like the TAC AR, was very fantastic. Honestly, I think very fondly of that season. But from the perspective of like more of like an OG Fortnite player, most of them would probably say that Season 9 is on the lower list, probably with like Season 8, and then even like probably Season X. Most people think Season X was one of the worst Fortnite seasons of all time. I personally loved it, but hey, that's just me. For those who started playing Fortnite earlier in Chapter 1, let me know down in the comments below what do you guys think about the original Season 9. Let's actually get into the main topic of this video. So Fortnite OG Season 9 releasing, and with that, Fortnite uploaded this, I don't know what to call it, a teaser, or to get us hyped. I don't know, but this is the teaser they put out. As a content creator, actually, you don't even have to be a content creator. That literally takes probably 5 seconds, maybe, you know what, 10 seconds. That takes literally 10 seconds to make in Photoshop or in GIMP or Microsoft Paint, whatever photo editor you have. That is the most laziest key art. Nah, it's not key art. I don't know what it is. What is that? It's literally a default purple background with the OG stamp on there, and it's not even like a Season 9 kind of like theme related. It's literally like the Season 1 version of OG. Like if they did something cool, like it was kind of futuristic logo or whatever, and then slap that on there, that would be awesome. But this is just screams laziness to me. The fact that it's not even centered. Like, you can see it's actually at like slightly above the middle portion of the area of this image. And that is just like the cherry on top, man. It's just like, just throw it in there real quick and just, we got to upload something. Oh my God, the intern was like, oh my God, Season 9's launching in 3 days. We haven't done no teasers, there's nothing. Oh my God, just get something real quick. Or maybe it's just like a lonely social media manager. You guys have to realize they did fire 1,000 people, and before that 850. So let's just say 2,000. I actually think they did fire a couple of social media managers, or one of them. I don't remember. I'll do a little bit of research into video editing. I think they did fire that guy though, but this is just embarrassing, man. This makes you just not even want to touch OG. And honestly, they've been kind of dookying on OG. Like, Fortnite just does not care about Fortnite OG anymore. Honestly, I think the last time they really cared about OG was probably, honestly, 2023 Fortnite. And even then, like, all the OG guns and the sound effects and the models, it wasn't a one-to-one recreation. It was more of just a kind of like a re-experience of OG. It wasn't really meant to be a return. It was meant to just be a kind of like a remix, but not really. And ever since 2023 Fortnite OG ended, where they had, I think it was 50 million new players playing Fortnite, they've been kind of trying to kind of recash in on those players. And that's why they brought back Fortnite OG in 2024. It exploded, but I think that was a big problem with them kind of starting in Season 1. The Season 1 map was honestly terrible. The loot pool was very just boring, and that kind of made Fortnite OG have a really bad start, and that kind of killed it for the rest of the season. Now, sure, the player counts and people did enjoy Season 2 and all the rest of the seasons, and when we finally started getting events, and the events are, they're a little different than what we've been used to. Let me actually talk about the player count before I go into this. So right now there's 40,000 players playing Fortnite OG. The 24-hour peak was 57,000. The all-time peak was 4 months ago at 735,000 players. Now this is for builds and zero builds combined, so let's actually dive into that separately. Builds right now is 26,000 players. 24-hour peak was 36,000. I'm just rounding, by the way. Well, I guess that's a technically round up, so say 37,000. And then the all-time peak for builds was 1.6 years ago with 1.3 million. That was at the launch of 2024 Fortnite OG Season 1. Now for zero builds, right now, obviously it's going to be a little bit less. It's gonna be 14 or well 15,000, 14,005. You know, it's gonna fluctuate. So it's say 15,000. 24-hour peak 21,000, and then the all-time peak was 1.6 years ago, again at 342,000. Now, I'm not here to be a clown and say, oh, these numbers are absolutely nothing. Fortnite OG is dying. It's not really dying, but it definitely is kind of falling out of favor, I would say. People aren't really just in the mood for Fortnite OG, especially these seasons for OG are just kind of like they're seen as like the lackluster seasons of Chapter 1. When most people think of like the golden age of Fortnite, they think of, you know, season 2, but mainly like season 3, then like season 4, season 5 is kind of like that like super like peak era, and then most people would say that Chapter 1 kind of started falling off. I don't agree with it, but this is what I've seen mainly from the community, that like when the Fortnite started adding the zombies in season 6, and then, you know, season 7 was very peak, but at that time people hated it because the Infinity Blade, and they added the zombies back again. Season 8 couldn't really get those players to come back, and then season 9 was like and then season X, Mechs, and oh my god, terrible, worst season of all time.
Season X is here, and the world is
destabilizing.
I personally don't really agree with any of that. Like, Fortnite kind of started dying off. If you do look at the trend charts, the player counts were going down a little bit, but I don't think Fortnite was dead at that time or anything like that. I think those seasons were actually amazing. Let's look at the actual player counts like throughout the months, right? So obviously at launch you had the mad players there, 1.3 million, and then it does get boosted. It looks like those were for the events, but as for the average players, it looks like it's been staying kind of the same, around like 40 to 50,000 during peak hours. Yeah, I mean, that's how much Fortnite OG is usually going to be getting in builds. And then we take a look at zero builds. Same thing. Zero builds obviously going to have less players, so it's going to be around 20 to sometimes 50, honestly, when the new season comes out, but usually 20 to around like 42,000 players, which is very good. I'm glad those average player counts are kind of staying the same. And then for builds, the rocket launch event actually got 991,000, so it was around up to 1 million active players playing. That was insane. 781,000 players for the Loot Lake event, 529,000 players for the Ice King event, and then 292,000 players for the Vault event, the volcano event. But if you take a look at the main battle royale, during the gummy hour, Fortnite actually had 1.2 million players. And then when was this? Today? No, this was 2 days ago. It actually went up to 2 million active players playing. I think this was everything combined, I'm pretty sure. We're playing Fortnite at the same time. This was not an OG, this was regular battle royale, which is honestly insane to me. And I think Epic Games sees those numbers, and honestly, they just don't think OG is really worth it anymore. I would say so. They've been kind of abusing the mode. It took so many months for them to just fix like guns that you were using the wrong sound effects and using the wrong models, and that should have just been fixed on literally like day 1 or like season 2. It should have not taken this long. There's constantly bugs in Fortnite OG, like the vaulting event had all the stuff in the sky. It's clear it isn't their focus, it's not their priority. And I think with this whole sprite collection system, they're seeing a lot of players come specifically for that, and they even know that whole collection / extraction system is honestly more than just a battle royale. It's more than just people going into the, only trying to get wins. People are now playing Fortnite to literally just collect sprites, and they don't care if they die. If you go into Fortnite and you collect a rare sprite and you extract and you have it, you're most likely honestly going to be happy even if you win or lose the game. And Fortnite sees that. That's why they don't even really care about Fortnite OG. I guess you could also say like, oh, battle royale as a whole is kind of dying as a genre. I definitely would say that. They're, you take a look at Fortnite competitors and like, what is there? Warzone? I haven't looked at Warzone player counts, but I thought it was dying off. I haven't heard Warzone in a long time. Apex, the same thing. I don't know about Apex a lot, but Apex, I haven't heard about that game in years. Maybe there's a little niche community for it. I don't know. But Fortnite is really the only one kind of dominating that battle royale market, and I think they see that's why they had to lay off that 1,000 employees. That the whole battle royale genre is just kind of falling off a bit, and the downturn in Fortnite engagement. But they pay $1 billion to steal the brain rot, creative maps. And they had to fire employees. They said they need the money to pay their bills and raise V-Buck prices, but that's besides the point. They really just don't care about Fortnite OG. Like, they would probably care about it. I think the next season that they're actually going to put in some like good work for Fortnite OG, it's probably Chapter 2, Season 2. I think that's going to be like the next season most people are hyped for. Sure, with the Chapter 2 launch, people are going to be hyped for the new map, but then what are they going to do there, right? for chapter 2, Epic went on their break and we literally didn't get any updates for multiple months, and the only update we got was the harpoon gun and like a lackluster like kind of creative Fortnite mares, and then that's it. It was a good launch for like a week, and then after that it was just pure boringness. And if Fortnite's gonna go down that same road of just launching season 1 and literally getting like a harpoon gun for weeks, for like, I mean, it's only a month long, but even like 2 weeks, and it's just gonna be kind of boring. I think season 2 for OG is probably gonna be the only Fortnite OG season that's actually gonna like maintain a consistent player base for that 1 month. I think you're gonna see like 100,000 players playing on builds, and then as your build's gonna have like 50 to like 80,000 playing 100%, because that season is just so goated. And then the problem comes back, and again, where for season 3 it's gonna boost up for the season, it's gonna go back down. Season 4 might actually get a lot of players because that was a very good season. I'm not trying to really be biased of like, oh well, I think it's a good season, I think it's a bad season. Just thinking about like the hype, and I'm just thinking about like the edits I'm seeing. Like, I don't, you know, people cared about seasons like season 3, but I already know that it's definitely not like one of the most like loved seasons of all time. I think chapter 2 season 7 was one of the best seasons of all time for Fortnite, honestly, probably if not the best. So that's probably gonna boost up. Season 8, same deal, probably gonna boost up and kind of slow back down a bit. And I think since we have these kind of chunks of seasons where some people love the season, some people hate the seasons, it's just not their priority anymore. They'd rather just focus on, you know, chapter 7 and all the seasons for chapter 7, and then even chapter 8, whatever they're going to do then. You know, we got GTA 6 coming out later this year. They're going to have to do something massive then, and that they're probably developing that mini short season for that as well. And OG just isn't on the priority list right now. It really isn't. I'm telling you right now. These, you know, season X is gonna come out. It's gonna be cool for like a day. No one's gonna play it after. Chapter 2, same thing, and it's gonna literally like what I just explained. And season 9 is kind of in that boat of, you know, season 9 just being, you know, some people really loved it, some people hated it, but some people, I think most people just think it's a mess season. And that's all I really got to say. I hope they do more for Fortnite OG. Me personally, I don't know how long they could keep this up. They either gotta keep developing Fortnite OG and actually put in the time and resources and like the, you know, actually dropping key art for it, not just it's literally slapping images on stock images. It's just so stupid. That's all I gotta say. Let me know in the comments below what do you guys think about this. Do you think they're lazy? Do you think it's just a social media manager guy, and, you know, Fortnite OG is gonna be peak in the next few months or whatever? Well, with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.